Okay, there's a bonus one at the end, so stay tuned for that. Number one, more time equals more repair. Most deposition that we get from a product happen early after applying a hair mask or a conditioner or a shampoo. Then you hit the diminishing returns. After that, the long contact time that the product has with our hair stacks the wrong risks for natural hair. We're talking prolonged swelling time, more friction while the fiber is softened, which is worse, right? And more residue that forces you to then use a harsher shampoo later. Hair absorbs water and swells, and that repeated swelling and shrinking, plus grooming, plus environmental exposure, plus everything that happens because we're alive, all of these things contribute to weathering, to freezing, to tangling, and breakage. What this means is overnight masking extends the window that the hair fiber is wet for. It extends the window that it's easier to deform while you are rubbing your hair against your bonnet or against your twists or sleeping in it. The solution is simple. Do what the label says. If the label says to leave on the mask for 15 minutes, do that and go about your day and enjoy your life. So myth number one is if I sleep in the mask, it will work better and deeper and harder. That is not the case. Number two, yes, protein makes your hair stronger, and the goal is mechanical performance for natural hair, to have our hair bend, right, without snapping. That is the ultimate goal. But overdoing protein and foam formers can push fine strands into stiffness, roughness, and even higher breakage during detangling. You may think that you're strengthening your hair, but you're breaking it off. The fiber's protective behavior depends heavily on the cuticles of the hair and the cell membrane complex, the cement, we'll call it, system, that gets disrupted by friction and handling. So when the surface of the hair is rough, the best thing to do is to lower friction and to increase slip. So if your hair feels mushy when it's wet, or it stretches too far and it won't bounce back, and it breaks even when you're being very gentle with it, occasional protein support will help your hair. But if your hair feels hard or squeaky or rough to the touch and tangles very quickly and snaps during manipulation, please stop using protein or stop using it in many steps and just move to conditioning your hair with a proper deep conditioner that has a ton of slip and reduces friction. Also remember that many moisture masks contain protein or amino acids in them. So without knowing, you're stacking protein on protein while thinking that you're avoiding it. So the fix here is dosage and spacing. We need protein, yes. But the hair myth is thinking more protein equals more stronger hair. That is just not the case. Okay, this next one is going to step on many toes because the next myth is where natural turns into hair fiber abuse. DIY is not automatically safer for your natural hair, and it often fails because hair products are chemistry systems. Chemistry, we're talking pH, emulsification, preservation, right? We're talking deposition and rinse behavior. All of these things matter. The literature tells us that alkaline processes increase swelling and can damage vulnerable structures, and strong alkaline is literally part of how straightening the hair works. The straightening systems, DIY mixes do not have a buffer. They come unbuffered. They're hard to rinse. They're prone to leaving residues that raise friction later. The mix sits on the top of your hair and never actually deposits anything properly onto the hair shaft, or it clings and leaves foam behind that then turns to tangles later. Not only that, the active ingredients in these natural products may not be bioavailable. They sit on the hair without being able to penetrate into the hair shaft and interact with it. So if your goal is less breakage, choose products and routines designed to bind to the hair surface and to rinse clean, because that is what reduces combing force. And eat your fruits and vegetables, just eat them. So myth number 3 is DIY masks are better because they are natural. Now let's deal with the most expensive myth, the ones that empty jars and pockets as fast as your hair is getting drier and drier. Hair masks have a saturation point. Once the fiber is fully coated, any extra product mainly becomes excess foam that rinses away, gets wasted, or leaves too much behind as residue. Conditioners work by depositing stuff on the surface of the hair and reducing friction and static. After that coverage is achieved, more is not more repair. It is more buildup. Why? Buildup is mechanical. More residue means more tangles. More tangles means experience more detangling force. More detangling force is what causes our hair to break and cause our fibers to snap mid-shaft. The goal is to aim for an even coverage, an even slip, and not a thick coating. In the natural hair community, we like to pile on product and pile on more products because we think our hair is so hard that we need more and more and more and more and more. We don't. If your fingers can glide through your section with minimal force, you have enough. Save your money and don't let people on the internet make you waste your money and your products in the name of my hair is natural, so I need a ton of products. So hair mask myth number 4 is thinking that the more hair mask I use, the better the results I get. Now we get to the myth that explains why you keep switching and switching and switching masks and buying one every second week. This is where the holy grails become less holy. Masks are targeted tools, right? Your best hair mask changes when your conditions change, because fragility and breakage of the hair are shaped by weathering, by grooming practices, and products mainly help improve the surface behavior of the hair. Hydrophobicity, the friction reduction, water pickup, water control. So masks stop working because you are conditioning through residue after weeks and weeks and weeks of layering so many stylers, or you changed how much heat you use, or you increased your manipulation, or your tension styles increased recently. The mask cannot overwork mechanics. So depending on what you are doing to your hair, you may need different masks. That is my point. If you've worn a protective styling for so long, then you may need a hydrating mask. So it is possible that you need 2 different masks depending on what we're doing to our hair. Say one for slip and flexibility, like a moisture mask to reduce friction and to help us with detangling, to reduce detangling force, and then one for structure support, like a protein mask used occasionally when the hair is overly soft, overly stretchy, or clearly compromised, or just because you want that strengthening because of what you've done to your hair. And then you rotate based on your symptoms and you judge success of the mask, right, by reduced breakage over time, not by how nice and soft your hair felt 10 minutes after or how nice it smelled. So hair myth number 5 is thinking that one mask fits all and being on the hunt for the next best one, when in fact we really just needed different masks for different purposes based on what we've just done to our hair. Now to the bonus. I see this one happen a lot on social media. You've not washed your hair for several months and then you do this hour-long deep conditioning. You mix 3 different deep conditioners and you apply it to your hair and you're thinking you're getting the best of every single one. You're probably not. You're probably just getting the hydrating part of it. That's it. Stop mixing multiple masks in a bowl because you lose control of ratios, of pH behavior, of effectiveness and deposition design. You lose control of all of that. If you truly want moisture plus slip and you want protein plus rebuilding or re-strengthening of your hair, layer intentionally, and there is a way to do that. Use your hydrating mask first for slip and detangle and do all the things. Follow the instructions like we just discussed, rinse that out, and then apply your protein mask after that for a short contact time. Follow the instructions. Maybe apply to just your ends. Follow the instructions and rinse properly. Don't mix masks together. They do not work like that. And the products have been formulated that way for a reason. And then look for proper results, not shine, not that my hair smelled nice or felt amazing. Measure whether detangling got easier if you use masks this way, or reduce breakage, or your hair stayed on your hair longer and not breaking away and your styles lasted, or measure tangible results. Now, how do you know all of this and put this together to understand exactly what is happening to your hair? Check this video out for more details. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.